You have moved from engineering to fitness to KPO and then to a now
Correct.
investment bank. Okay.
Correct.
Over here, how does engineering knowledge or your learning that you've learned as an engineer is helping you now in finance?
So we're back then in the technical background in engineering. Again, you have to put your mind out into understand what the foundation is, what the particular concept, the process is. So now you have to make
Okay.
sure that everything is proper. Whatever you are learning is proper. And again, the communication skills, the interpersonal skills of adapting to a particular situation, adapting to a particular
Right.
domain.
For the benefit of the audience, if you can tell us what does a transfer agency do and what is your role in AML actually into day-to-day basis?
So transfer agency basically, it's an part of organization into financial institutions who does the record keeping, particularly of the investors that who are associating with the bank, and particularly AML as in which is relatively known as anti-money laundering.
Now, suppose somebody wants to enter into this AML space. So, what are the key skill set that that person should have, and is there any certification that can help them to enter? Hello, guys. I hope everybody is doing good. Hi, this is Ganesh Naik. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career and become a better version of themselves with exams preparation like CFA, FRM, and SCR. And today, as a part of that discussion, I also get people from the industry to talk about what different roles are available, how they can share their experience of being in the industry, and which can help a lot of young professionals who are joining the finance industry. So, as a part of that discussion, we today have Akshay, and he's going to be sharing with us his journey, okay, and most importantly, how did he move from the engineering side to finance, and what is his current role, and what does that current role entails. So, Akshay, first of all, thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us. And if you can give a brief about you, okay, to the audience, that would be really helpful.
So first of all, thank you so much, Ganesh sir, for giving me this opportunity, and firstly, believing me that I'll be capable enough to, showcase and express whatever my journey has been through, so that that could help the masses around us. So that the journey has been sort of a roller coaster ride, and I would
Mhm.
like to elaborate a more, and especially like to be quite raw with it. People around
Okay.
us and all the enthusiasts budding up to grow their career, they just
Right.
get the opportunity, they get their exposure. My journey maybe could help them. So starting from the laid back around when I started my diploma, I pursued my
Mhm.
diploma in mechanical engineering, and during
Okay.
diploma I got the opportunity to have an internship in L&T, Larsen and Toubro. So after
Okay.
completing my diploma in mechanical engineering, I moved up for BTech and pursued my
Mhm.
BTech in mechanical engineering. While that, I
Okay.
also got opportunity to have an internship in IIT Bombay. So there
Okay.
it was more of into technical perspective relating to mechanical engineering. So it was basically
Hmm.
relating to CNC machines and everything. And during
Wow.
that time, I attended various conferences as well, which were relating to renewable energy resources. So I do have a quite background about that as well. So when I just started with the degree that is particularly BTech in mechanical engineering, I was sort of
Mhm.
with a notion that the college that I am getting into has a good background of placement. So as an individual, when
Okay.
you go for degree in something, you as a middle class person, but particularly look get
The
placed in a better
placements.
company.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that is where I went in, and I shortlisted my college as well because I got better grades in diploma as well. So that way I
Hmm.
shortlisted and thought that I'll get into a better college, and that will help me with getting placed in a good company. But unfortunately, when I pursued my degree, the placements level, particularly relating to the vacancies, were quite low for the mechanical engineering part. So that time, I tried to get into IT companies because there was a dearth of mechanical companies around. So I was trying in Indian Army, but we don't have a background in Indian Army relating to the previous. If you look to get into Indian Army, it is like if you be in army schools, and the exposure is quite more as compared to if you
Right.
try that way. But then even that didn't happen. So I tried to give interviews in multiple IT companies. I tried to get myself into business analytics and everything, but that didn't
Okay.
work. So they give more preference to people who are in IT. So obviously they would be looking like if you are from
Right.
IT background, that will help them. So
Okay.
it went that way, and I did struggle to get placement from the college. And also, I did try for literally 6 months offline as well. So I tried I could get any sort of job outside if I could get a break. Because getting you to being honest, so that time the phase was like,
Mm-hmm.
my financial stability was that I had to start work. I had to start with a job because my father had
Right.
retired. So I had to keep it that way that you have to be a sole runner of the family. So that
Right.
way, I was looking for the job. So the phase didn't work out, and I was like quite low with the fact that I have a BTech degree and still I'm not getting a sort of vacancy, sort of placement. So during that particular phase, I was quite enthusiastic with fitness as well. So I looked to get a certification into fitness, and I got American Council of Sports Medicine certification, and I worked as fitness manager for 2 years in a reputed gym. That way I was
Wow.
trying to,
Okay.
yeah. So I was trying to that way pursue my passion as well and try that maybe if you could just give a start, because I am someone who believes you don't stop and get stuck somewhere. If you're feeling like you're not getting an opportunity, I'll find a way out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep going. I'll not be in a position that okay, I'm not getting a job, then what should I do or what shouldn't
Right.
I, what shouldn't I?
So this
So
two
I
year
did find,
2 year this 2 year
yeah.
gym was only into gym, or you were working somewhere and doing the.
No, 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 it was totally into the gym as a fitness
Oh,
manager.
okay. Then
Yeah.
what happened after that?
So correct. So after that, when I was working, then I had a thought that you being in a career where you have a good BTech degree, maybe you could utilize it somewhere and get a growth and boost to your career. So then I thought of trying up into KPOs, BPOs, and
Right.
I was like, I'll just start with something that will help because I'm kind of sort of I feel that I'm quite confident with the communication skills. So if I could
Okay.
utilize that way and be in KPO or BPO, that would at least give me a boost with the financial ability. So that time I
Hmm.
started with a KPO organization, which was based out in Mumbai, and that was
Okay.
relating to US healthcare services. So for that particular organization, I worked for a couple of years there, and I worked
Okay.
as a customer service executive. So after that,
Okay.
covering up the 2 years down there in that company, I again gave a
Uh-huh.
thought that working into BPOs, KPOs, how long you gonna go? How long you gonna reach ahead with respect to the abilities
Okay.
that I could portray myself? So I was looking
Right.
around if I could just get back into IT. If things are not working out in mechanical engineering, or even I'm not
Hmm.
able to be in a position where I could get into further masters, for the post graduation studies. So what I could do
Okay.
something that will give a channel to my career. So that time I was
Okay.
searching around if I could get any sort of courses in IT, or particularly any sort of distant education that will help me get into a
Hmm.
IT company. But I
Okay.
was googling around, I was trying to research more and more. I got to know about finance sector. So I got
Okay.
to know about much about finance industry, how things go around in finance industry, what all things you could do or what all courses you could do when you're being in finance industry that you could get a break to your career.
Right.
So that I went through a portal which was one of the leading learning platform named Imartica
Hmm.
City. So that
Yes.
particular platform was giving and providing courses relating to finance. So the particular course that I enrolled myself was into certified investment banking and operations. So in that particular course, it was relating to investment banking, and then I had researched quite a lot relating to investment banking, what this particular field is. It is much more relating to investment banks, finance, much more detail into finance. So and also they were like they were providing you sort of 100% placement. So that was sort of in my mind that okay, if you get into finance, maybe you could get a secured job. You have that notion and feeling
So
that
your
you.
interest about, so while reading, so your interest about investment banking came into picture, right?
Correct,
So then
correct,
you appeared for interviews. Okay, the first job
correct.
that you directly got into the AML side, or you joined somewhere else and then moved to AML.
So how it happened, like I directly, not directly particularly, but the team I joined was bifurcating relating to other particular field departments into transfer agency as well. So in transfer agency, we do have multiple departments like registration, dealing, and AML, and other teams as well. So I was placed into AML team, but then initially I was working on with the projects that were relating to supporting other teams. So that gave me an overview into how things go around in transfer agency. So there
Okay.
I
Okay.
started working as an analyst in the company. So during being an
Okay.
analyst, the major responsibility was gain as much knowledge you could get relating to the particular transfer agency, how the team works, how the process works. So I
Okay.
worked as an analyst for 2 years, and by the side also AML was associated team that I was working with. Tried to
Okay.
gain knowledge. I tried to gain much more information how the particular process works. You have your
Right.
seniors around. I had fortunately had my managers who were quite helpful as well. So they helped me to grow and shape up more into AML as well. So when a criteria comes in that you could get yourself interview and move ahead with the position that you're working in, I tried to
Right.
apply for the senior analyst role as well. So that was typical into
Oh,
AML.
okay.
So being around in the 2 years in that organization and getting much more to know and learn about AML, then I gave the particular interview relating to AML. And I believed and thought of learning more and more about AML, keeping the foundation and
Mm-hmm.
basics. And then I gave the interview and cracked it. And then currently it's been a year I'm working in AML as a senior analyst.
Okay. 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 Now, if for the benefit of the audience, if you can tell us what does a transfer agency do, and what is your role in AML actually into day-to-day basis?
Sure. So transfer agency basically it's an part of organization into financial institutions who does the record keeping, particularly of the investors who are associating with the bank, and particularly AML as in which is relatively known as anti-money laundering. So this is the
Mm-hmm.
basic concept that you have certain laws, regulations, the guidelines being set by the financial institution on the financial institutions. So they help keep the money laundering activities, the terrorism going on, financial crime going on around with the investment banks and other banks around, financial banks around. So these and everything, this is all prevented with the help of AML. So it's a particular
Right.
mandatory check when for if I talk about a layman language. So if you are associating with a bank will make sure
Hmm.
that you don't have any background relating to financial crime and you have a clean sheet. So now we can associate
Right.
with you and we can safeguard your assets, whatever you have.
Okay. Now, one question, like you have moved from engineering to fitness to KPO and then to a now
Correct.
investment bank. Okay.
Correct.
Over here, how does engineering knowledge or your learning that you've learned as an engineer is helping you now in finance?
Yeah, so engineering is a sort of field that you have to push in yourself with respect to the curriculum. You have to put in your mind in, you have to put in your hard work and efforts. There is a lot of learning process
Right.
going on. So one thing for sure is that the learning ability do you get into really helps you with the finance part and that especially into the AML. So the challenges that come into
Okay.
AML is getting into the process, getting into the core of foundation. So where back then in
Hmm.
the technical background and engineering, again you have to put your mind out into understand what the foundation is, what the particular concept, the process is. You have to make
Okay.
sure that everything is proper, whatever you are learning is proper, and again the communication skills, the interpersonal skills of adapting to a particular situation, adapting to a particular
Right.
domain really helps.
Right.
So engineering helped me to get into this particular field of anti-money laundering. So though the
Okay.
process is different, but the relativity is quite same with respect to what the domain is.
Okay. Okay. Now, suppose somebody wants to enter into this AML space. So, what are the key skill set that that person should have, and is there any certification that can help them to enter?
Sure. So if you're looking to get into AML, firstly you need to have to get the basics clear, particularly what money laundering is and what is anti-money laundering. So there are three different types of stages into money laundering, which is placement, layering, integration. So
Hmm.
the process and concept goes in like you are as an individual who is into financial crime, fraudulent activities, and in
Hmm.
money laundering you're trying to make the black money into white money. So this is the process that you need to be thorough about. As I said, that it bifurcates into three parts like placement, layering, and
Hmm.
integration. You are quite able to explain that. Then there are other points as well like transaction monitoring, AML screening. Then again, it comes to unusual activity form, suspicious activity report. These are all the key
Okay.
points that you need to be aware about. As a fresher, if you're getting as an analyst into a particular organization and especially into AML team,
Hmm.
these are the basics that you are expected to know. No one is like typically asking you to be quite technical and in depth with the particular process, but you should be
Hmm.
basically aware about what AML is, what are the stages, what is transaction monitoring, what is again AML screening, then what is politically exposed person, again what are
Right.
sanctions. So these are the key highlights and key points that the AML works into. And if we talk about the particular certifications, so we have again, if you talk about free certifications, then they are though less, but then we have Udemy, we again have aspiring.com, then we again have EY business as well, though I suppose that that is given to the EY partners only. But these are the free platforms. But again, if you look for the certification pack, then you have the certified anti-money laundering specialist, you have certified
Cams.
financial sanctions, yeah, CAMS, correct. So these are the accredited ones, which will help you to get into a better certification, and that will improve and strengthen your CV.
Okay. Now you mentioned about the layering, placement, integration part. If you can give a simple example for the audience that what exactly is money laundering with a reference to what is happening at each stage, that would be really helpful.
Sure. In particularly in the placement stage, I'll definitely talk in the layman language, so our audience, gets quite a better understanding about it. So you as an individual are you're having a lot of black money, and you are in the placement stage you are creating a bank account for yourself. You're
Okay.
getting associated to the investment bank, you're creating an account, so your funds are
Okay.
deposited that way. And again then
Okay.
comes layering stage, where you trade that particular money into some sort of securities. You buy some stock, you buy some securities, or no, you buy some particular product, luxurious product, that you invest your money in. And the third part comes in as an integration, where the particular money that you bought the particular products, you sell that product. Like for example, if I bought a particular, I'm starting a business of luxury products, I'll convert that black money and sell that particular luxury products around in the market. So ultimately, what happened is the product that I sent into the market, I got the money back, right? And for
Hmm.
whatsoever
Yes.
purpose I want to use it, I got it as a white money. So I converted my criminal fact or sort of illegitimate money into legitimate money. So this is what the basic
Okay.
stages and how the AML works in.
Okay, okay, interesting, interesting. Now, suppose
Yeah,
somebody who wants to plan his career, okay, and also if I'll first talk about the interviews. So you have given so many finance interviews, right? What is your
yeah.
tips for somebody or playbook for somebody that okay, how should you tackle finance interviews?
Sure. So, if as an fresher you're trying to get into and crack into an
Yeah.
interview, you need to be particularly aware about the particular foundation of that domain you're working into. Be it finance. If you're
Okay.
talking particularly about finance, then you need to have a basic understanding of what is financial markets, what is capital market, and again,
Right.
much more detail into capital markets, primary markets, secondary markets. These are the basics that
Right.
a company expects when you work as an analyst, because the overall knowledge and the foundation that we have for the investment banking and the financial institution
Hmm.
is very key. And again, I
Okay.
would really emphasize on communication skills and confidence. So you have to be quite patient with the fact, whatever knowledge that you have, you try to impact in a better way. You have to be definitely confident in the fact that the interviewer who is taking your interview is looking at the confidence,
Hmm.
because see, technical knowledge is what they are about to give. You have your trainings and everything down the line when you join a company, but then the confidence and that gist in you is something what a interviewer sees in, okay, if he is really capable of getting
You're
into
right.
my company and work for me. So confidence again works quite key. Communication skills and having a basic foundation of knowledge of the particular domain are the three important points I believe that will definitely help for the success. And last but
Okay.
not the least, patience is something really very key. You nowadays know what the market is going on and how it is. Like, you have one particular job, but there are 100 people running around for the job. So, if you
Yes.
build
Yes.
that skill set, you build that knowledge part, and you be you stand out with your communication skills and your confidence. That will definitely help you. But you need to be patient about the opportunity that you're getting in. Example, if I talk about myself, if I wouldn't have been that way, then I wouldn't have been in the position that I am right now. So patience has really helped me a lot in being to where I am currently, and I'm still trying to learn and grow that way.
Okay, wonderful. When one final question, what was there in your mind when this all roller coaster ride was happening into different areas that you worked, and then finally you came into investment banking? What was happening in your mind?
So the mind was definitely into a positive zone, because when you look to learn something and you try to be who is into multitasking sort of. There are people
Hmm.
who are able to do multitasking. So nowadays
Okay.
the generation and the current situation has been that if you are able to multitask, if you have multiple knowledge about different fields, it will definitely help you in your career growth. So for example, if I have that engineering knowledge, any background or any sort of knowledge or exposure into engineering, that I can inculcate and adapt into the finance as well. So not directly, but indirectly, some of the other skills do help. So you
Hmm.
need to be quite thorough with the fact that you are really positive and your attitude is really that way, a way which will lead you for your career growth. It will boost you. And as always, I will always suggest being patient is something key to success. So for the matter of fact that success would be like, if you don't get it right now, you will definitely get in the future, but you have to keep going, you have to keep pushing.
Wonderful. I mean, this interview is going to help a lot of students because I get a lot of queries that, okay, I'm working in operations in some bank, suppose an Indian bank or some small company, I want to get into investment bank. Now, for them, this is a very good use case that somebody who is from engineering, who is given 2 years into fitness, no huge corporate job, but two-year fitness, then moving to some role in KPO, then going back to going to an investment banking. So if you can do it, definitely those guys can also carve out their way and get into an investment bank, right? So this entire discussion is going to be really, really helpful, okay, for the audience to understand that it is not impossible to change your career, okay, and you have done it, and this will motivate a lot of other students, right? So
Definitely, sir.
thank you, Akshay.
Quite thankful. Thank you so much, Ganesh sir, for the
Thank,
opportunity. Have a good day.